Hi, I'm Phil White from Cervelo. I'm one of the co-founders along with Gerard, and we're here at the Tour of California looking at the time trial bikes. Alejandro, the team mechanic, is building it up. You can see we're actually using P3s at this point because P4s are still rare as hen's teeth. We're also using the rotor drive system and with the oval cranks, or the oval chain rings to go along with that. Carlos, of course, won the Tour on those last year, so they're pretty well proven. The rest of the bike is made up of physique saddles and triple T aero bars, and those give us a significant aero advantage. We just came back from the tunnel. Actually, we're still at the tunnel, so we've got half our engineering team at the tunnel, and I'm here actually with the team. So it was nice to see the advantage that the equipment offered this year. We were actually able to get a lot of the riders a fair bit faster as well. So it was good work in the wind tunnel this week. Well, the team came about, I think everyone's kind of aware that at the Tour last year, we kind of were looking around and trying to figure out what we were going to do for the next year. And one of the options was always that we were planning to do was to have a second tier team that we could use more effectively for hospitality and for testing. We think that's two very important things for the team from a manufacturer standpoint. And to be honest, also from the other equipment manufacturers in the industry. So that's one of the reasons we've had a lot of buy-in to this concept of owning the team and having a really, really close working relationship with the team in product development. So that was the plan, and then we mentioned this to Carlos, and I guess he hadn't signed up for with a team for next year, and he just jumped at the chance. It wasn't quite the answer we were expecting from him. We didn't ask him. It was just like he jumped at the opportunity, and then it became a question of, wow, now we can go from having kind of a smaller team to something that's a tour contender, and that was a huge opportunity, but also a huge amount of work for us at the same time. Well, the goal of any team is really to provide sponsor value. So how do we get value out of the team? Well, we get it, of course, from logo exposure on the bikes, people seeing it, getting on TVs, getting in the magazines. That's part of it. But I think it can go beyond that, and we really want to get that next level of value out of the team, and that is partially through hospitality. So the fact that you've got very good access here, we also have good access for our dealers and for our customers, our consumers. Hopefully we can give them a more intimate and interactive exposure to the team. So that's part of it as well. The same thing, of course, matters for sponsors. As we get more and more sponsors coming on board, we really develop that hospitality. We want them to be able to kind of interact with the team and have that experience as well. It's something that in the cycling world is really unique, because we can actually ride the same equipment that the pros ride, and ride it on the same course and ride with them. So that's not to be, you shouldn't underestimate the value of that from a sponsor, to be able to interact with the athletes on that level. And then the other side of it is, we want to use the team as a development tool. We need that feedback from the top riders. If you're in Formula One or aerospace, they have all the engineers, they develop the products, and then the next thing is they send it to their test team, and those guys work through all the issues before it's ever raced. And so the computer is never going to replace the athlete or the test team and that human feedback element, and that's what we need those guys for. And it also has to be very, very intimate and close. We need to have good interaction with the riders on a constant basis to be able to consistently develop new product fast. Well, the process of developing the P4 started, even before the P3 was finished. So as an engineer, you're always thinking of the next thing and how you can work on that. So, it started immediately. We already had ideas the time we'd gone into making the P3 on what we would do next time. So it was a 3-year development process, but the last 2 years have been really a lot of hard work. I think we went at the wind tunnel, 4 times per year, so about 8 times in the last 2 years to develop that and finalize the development of that. So people look at it and they don't see a huge difference between the P3, but at the same time, it's the biggest leap we've ever made in speed on a bike from one generation to the next. So a lot of very, very subtle things that are in the details. The details are where a lot of the speed is on that bike. The details and the system integration, those are unique things with that bike. I think they'll be out in the showrooms next month. The thing with that bike is it's a very complex bike. It's much more complex than we've done before, with the embedded bottle that's smoothly fared into the frame, and then with the integrated brake that's completely hidden from the wind. So, when you start getting into brakes, it's a new era for us. So we wanted to make sure it worked really well. So we've kind of been trying to find ways to test that with all sorts of different standards and to make sure that there's no problems from a really good brake that actually works and actually has a really strong, long lifetime. Keep enjoying your bike and watch the Cervelo test team this year.